Hey guys, it's Gaz and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today is a heavily requested recipe. I'm making burritos and I'm going to make them with mushroom meat. I'm going to flavor up some beautiful mushrooms with an array of spices, get them really crispy and then shred them. They're going to be incredible. And I'm also going to put some guacamole in there, some tomato rice, some peppers. It's going to be absolutely great, so stay tuned for the recipe. Here it is. I'm also going to be putting some spicy black beans into the burrito as well. This is great for Friday nights, party, food. First thing I'm going to do though is the mushrooms. And I've got some mixed mushrooms here. I've got 2 packs. So basically at the supermarket you can buy packs of mushrooms that have a mixture. They're sometimes called exotic mushrooms. So in the pack that I got some lovely king oyster mushrooms, some aniki mushrooms and some Meaty mushrooms somewhere down in there. These are going to be great. Doesn't matter what mushrooms you have, when we cook them, the way I'm going to cook them, they're going to get really crispy, beautiful, tasty. Oh, they're just great. I'm running out of words to use, but I'm going to spice them up and they're going to taste so good. So let's do that first. Let's get a griddle pan smoking hot. Now this is really important that you have a smoking hot griddle pan. Preheat a large griddle pan over a high heat. Add some oil and wait till the pan is smoking. I've cut the king oyster mushrooms into 3. I'm leaving the anikis like this and the samijis whole. I am going to trim the stalks off the end. Right, the pan is smoking. Let's get these mushrooms in. I may need to cook them in batches, but that's fine. Add the mushrooms to the pan. So I'm just going to cook these for about 1 to 2 minutes. They're going to shrink in size. As soon as they shrunk, I'm going to get the rest of them in. I've got this little trick from Derek Sarno, a top vegan chef. You may have seen him in my Harvey Nichols video. He gets another pan, a heavy one that fits inside, and literally just squash that on top of the mushrooms, and that basically allows the mushrooms to crispen up and just basically cook until they're beautiful. So get another pan and pop it on top. When there's room, add the rest of the mushrooms. And get the pan back on top. Using a towel, press down on the pan. These are smelling so good and there's no flavour being added yet. It's just all the natural flavours caramelising in the pan beautifully. I'm going to leave these cook for around 3 minutes on this side now, and then we'll flip them over and then I'll add some seasonings. But we'll leave this now and just let all the flavours caramelise. I'm trying to cut down on saying caramelise, but who cares. Meanwhile, add some long grain rice to a saucepan. Give it a quick rinse off under cold water. Next, add 1 tin of chopped tomatoes. Add a tablespoon of dried oregano, 1 bay leaf, a pinch of cayenne pepper, and a sprinkle of smoked paprika. Add a pinch of salt and pepper. Place the rice over a low heat. Then place a lid on the saucepan. So I've just turned the heat down on the mushrooms and I'm going to flip them over now. See what they look like. Yes, look at the colour, that's what we want. Look at that. That's adding great flavour. And the smells in this place right now are incredible. So I've just sort of clumped these mushrooms together now and I'm going to add some spices. I'll get the pan back on top and that's actually going to form sort of 1 fillet of mushrooms which I'll eventually chop up to add to our burritos. So let's get some spices in. Add a pinch of ground ginger, a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of ground oregano, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, a teaspoon of dried chili flakes, and some smoked paprika, just a sprinkle. Give the mushrooms another mix. So give the mushrooms a nice mix, make sure those spices are sort of covered on each piece of mushroom. I'm going to turn the heat down lower again and get the pan back on top. Give the rice a mix. Right, our spicy black beans. Literally, I've got a tin of cooked black beans here. All I'm going to add is a little bit of coconut oil and some more of the spices. And the spices you'll notice are similar running throughout this burrito because they just work really well in each element. Each element will have its own flavor of its own though, because it's a different element, but the spices will remain the same throughout. I explained that with a bit of a mouthful, but who cares? To the rinsed black beans, add half a tablespoon of Vita Coca coconut oil. Add a pinch of ground cumin, some dried oregano, and some chili flakes. Add a squeeze of lime. Add a clove of minced garlic. So next I'm going to add a touch of tabasco because these are spicy black beans after all. Just a little bit. Now I'm not going to cook these yet because all they really need is a little heat up. The garlic does need to cook, so I'll put these on around 5 to 6 minutes before the burritos are going to be made. So set this aside, just get it ready. Before I do anything else, I'm going to chop up some peppers and a red onion because I want some nice charred peppers to go in this burrito as well. So that's the last element that I'm going to get ready. Check the mushrooms and add a pinch of seasoning. The mushrooms are looking absolutely incredible. They're getting nice, crispy and golden. I'll leave them in there for about 4 to 5 minutes, then get them onto a baking tray and into the oven to cook through. I'm going to do the peppers now, but remember the full written recipe is on my website. Cool, let's go. Finely slice a red and yellow pepper. Finely slice half a red onion. Give the rice a quick stir, add a little bit of water if it's drying out too much. Check on the mushrooms. These are looking incredible. I'm going to get these onto a baking tray and into the oven to finish cooking for about 12 minutes, and that will give me enough time to finish the rest of the elements for this amazing burrito. Place the mushrooms onto a non-stick baking tray and into your oven set at 190 degrees Celsius for around 10 to 12 minutes. Leave the pan over a medium heat to cook your peppers and your onions. Add a touch of additional oil and get them cooking. The peppers and onions are going to pick up all the wonderful flavours that the mushrooms left behind. So all I'm going to add to this now is a pinch of seasoning. The spices are catching my throat. I'm going to check on my rice, and I'm also going to light the black beans over a very low heat to warm and cook through. The mushrooms will be done soon, and it's time to build the burritos. Allow the peppers to cook for around 4 to 5 minutes or until nice and soft. Give the rice a taste to see if it's cooked. Pop the lid back on if it needs a little bit longer. Prepare any additional fillings you want to add to your burritos. I'm adding some red cabbage shredded and some spinach and some guacamole. So I'm just shredding this red cabbage super fine, and I'm also going to serve it with my guacamole. If you want my guacamole recipe, really simple. It's in my ultimate chili recipe, chili non-carne. It's really good. There is actually an amazing chili recipe in my book. It's got grilled mango in it. It's wicked. But this is just a standard guacamole, and the recipe is in the ultimate chili video. I'm almost ready to make the burritos. Create a little filling station for your burritos. And of course, grab some nice tortillas. Yes, this rice is done. I'm ready to serve this up now, so let's go. Peppers are done, let's get them up. Beans are smelling lovely, they're also done. Now let's get the mushrooms out, my favourite part. Right, I'm just going to shred these up. All I'm going to do is chop through them roughly. As you can see, they've sort of moulded together and formed one sort of fillet of mushrooms. They just look and smell incredible. Did you hear? Listen, that crunch, that's exactly what you want. But the king oyster mushrooms are still nice and succulent in the middle. These are amazing. So I'm just chopping them up roughly, and they're perfect to go inside the burrito. One thing I will say, don't clean out the griddle pan yet, because once I've wrapped the burritos, I'm gonna grill them before everyone eats them. So let's get these into a bowl. So let's wrap up a burrito. I'm gonna show you how to make one, and I'm gonna eat that one, and I'm gonna leave the rest of it for my amazing crew to come and make their own burrito. Hopefully they'll learn a few bits from me doing the first one. So let's go. So I lay a piece of foil down first and get slightly warm tortilla in the center, and then fill it up. Basically, there's no sort of main instructions, just fill it up. Try not to overload it. That's one of the things that does let you down, because if you put too much in, it's impossible to wrap up. But just put a decent amount in and it'll be fine to roll. First up, add the rice. Add a layer of peppers, followed by some black beans. Add some guacamole. Add some of the amazing mushroom meat. So I've pre-made some of my homemade sour cream. If you want the recipe, it's in a few different videos of mine. I'll pop the link here. I'll remember which video it's in so you can get the recipe. Add some spinach and red cabbage. And finally, a little bit of coriander. Right, now I need to try and roll this. I did try and warn myself but not to overfill it, but I've managed to do that. What I'm going to do is add a little tabasco, because I like a bit of spice, but I'm going to add a little tabasco at the front of it, and that will just help seal the burrito. If you don't want to add any more spice, just add something like mango chutney or something like that, something that's going to seal it. Heat your griddle pan up again and seal the burrito. Are you impressed with me? I'm impressed with myself that I managed to get it all in. So I just heated up the pan again, and we just want to seal that edge there really. I just like adding that charred flavour to the bread myself anyway, to be honest. So let's get that on. I'm sorry if I broke burrito rolling rules by that, but that's just the way I do it. It worked for this one. I'm going to wrap it in some foil after it's grilled, and then we can enjoy it. Once the burrito has grilled and sealed, roll it up in the foil. Twist up the ends, and there we have an ultimate vegan burrito. I can't wait to scoff this now, but I'm going to do the rest of them for my amazing team, and then I'm going to give it a taste, so stay tuned. Guys, making those 4 burritos was the most mouth-watering thing I can't even speak, I've ever done. I just need to give this a try now, so I'm going to cut into it and then give it a taste. I'm going to cut it on an angle because that just makes it even better. And let's have a look. Oh wow, look at that burrito goodness. Wow, look at the layers, look at the colors. So much flavor in there. Let's give it a taste. That is looking fully like a snack. Let's give it a taste. Hands down, the best burrito I've ever eaten. I know I'm blowing my own trumpet, but honestly, it's incredible. You have to try this recipe. The full written recipe is on my website. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and comment. Hit the bell if you want to be part of the notification gang. I've got burrito in my teeth. Stay tuned for next week's video.